Hello, this is Richard at Expedition Tracking. Today I'm going to show you how to use your administration portal to administer your trackers and also to create and set up events. Okay, so you'll want to go to the login, which is racedrone.net/admin, and then put in the username and password that you've been supplied. Once you've logged in, you'll see a few options across the top. You've got Events Manager, Site Admin, and User Manager. Your Site Admin page, all you can really do in there is change your password, so we don't need to worry too much about that one. Your User Manager, this is where all your trackers that you have purchased will show up in the list. And from here, at any point in time, you can decide to rename your trackers. For example, it might be that on this expedition coming up at the weekend, you want to call them groups 1, 2, 3, and 4, but perhaps in 3 weeks' time, you want to call them Alpha, Beta, Charlie, and Delta. How do you do that? Well, within your user manager, there is a little icon here called Edit. Click on the Edit, and instead of calling this tracker 855, I'm going to call this one Group 1. And then I'll just click on Submit, and hopefully you can see there it's now changed to be Group 1. Likewise, I'm going to change this one to be called Group 2. Okay, that's done. Note that the tracker's username will always remain constant, and that will match the number which is printed on the back of your tracker. Okay, so once you've got the hang of renaming your trackers, and you can do that as often as you wish, even during an expedition, the final area to go into is Events Manager. So when you're on your Events Manager, you'll be faced with this page here, and what you're going to want to do is create an event. So if I click on Add Event, first thing to do is to give it a meaningful name, and perhaps that might be something like, let's say, the peaks on February the 15th and 16th. You can put whatever you want in here, but whatever you type becomes part of the URL. In other words, it would be racedrone.net/events/peak 15, Feb 15 and 16. So I would advise to keep it relatively short. If you do choose a name that someone has picked previously, it will tell you to pick a unique one. You can set a password in your event, whatever you want to type in there. We'd recommend you always set a password for your events. For everything else that you don't understand, my advice is leave the default information in there. So some of these are advanced items, and I'm not going to explain them because the reality is you don't need to change any of them. The only ones you need to set are the name, you need to set a password, and then you need to go and set you can write a location if you wish. So let's say you wanted to write London in there. A future update will provide a little map instead of typing a location, so you can just click on a map location, and then you'll choose a date. So I'm going to say this is going to be February the 15th to February the 16th. I'm going to leave the start and end date default. Telephone numbers, these are the emergency phone numbers which your trackers will try and contact in the event that someone pushes the SOS button on them. You can put up to 3 in there. You must use international country format, and that means putting the country code first and dropping the leading 0. So if your phone number was 07880, for example, you would click 447880, and I'm going to put the contact number in the 727. You can put up to 3 in there, and all 3 would receive a text message. All these other ones you can leave to empty. You can choose if you want to have which type of map you want to default it to. The most popular types to default your map to are satellite or ordnance survey map. I'm just going to leave it set to the standard map here because you can also change this once you are in the map as well. And finally, the only other thing I'm going to choose is how often do I want the map to refresh. I'll say once every 2 minutes. So just to recap on that, the only things you really need to enter when setting up your event are the name, the password, a starting and an ending date, and finally you can put in a telephone number. Once you've done all of that, you can save it, but what you would really want to do is probably to upload some routes, and they can be either GPX files, which might come from EDOV or from the Ordnance Survey application, or you can also import KML files, which you might create in Google Earth. It'll accept either or both. So in this particular example, I'm going to choose one of each kind. I'm going to choose a GPX and a KML. If I click OK, it'll import both of those on there. Now then, let me go and save that. So that's now been saved, and you'll see I've got this new event here. And notice this is now a hyperlink. And if I was to go and click on this one, you'll see that I will be able to go in and view my route. Now notice I put two routes in there, so I've got the Millennium Way and something called the WH100, which is the White Horse 100. So if I zoom out to a different part of the country, you'll actually see there's the other one there. So one of them is shown in purple, one of them shown as in a grey-black colour there, and that matches those two. And this is the URL which you would share with all of your supervisors or assessors, whoever else is going to be on the DOV expedition. Do remember, as I say, to set a password if you are going to be using it, especially with children. Final thing to note is anytime you can go and edit your expedition using this button here, and you could go in and go into the dates. You could alter the date if you wish. You could alter the times. You can go and change the password, but also you can go and change the files. So the files we've got in there are the Millennium Way and the White Horse. So the displayed information was Millennium Way 2019 and WH100 route only. Well, I don't like those names. I'm just going to call this one the Millennium Way, and I'm going to make the route red. I'll save that one, and I'm going to call this one the White Horse 100 mile, and I'm going to save this one to be green. And if I save that and then go and refresh this page, you should now see that we've got the red and the green, and note the names have changed to the White Horse 100 and the Millennium Way exactly as typed. You'll also note in there that there are some checkpoints. So there's a start, there's checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, checkpoint 3, checkpoint 4. And that information is imported from your GPX or your KML file, but you also have got the opportunity to make some alterations to that data as well. How do you do that? Well, within your route management is one final button. Well, there's two actually. You can press the delete to remove any one of those at any time, and you can import to add any more ones. But the last button is manage checkpoints. If I click on manage checkpoints for the Millennium Way, you'll see all of those checkpoints that were listed on there. Start, checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, checkpoint 3, and finish. So I can change the name of those if I want them to be something different, and I can also change the icon. So given that this is the start, let me change this icon to be a start icon. I will change this CP3 icon to be a checkpoint 3. We've got lots and lots of icons, as you can see, so I'm going to make checkpoint 3 blue. I'm going to make checkpoint 2 yellow. I'm going to make checkpoint 1, well, let's make that one red, shall we? So checkpoint 1 is red, and the finish checkpoint, I'm just going to call that one, I'm going to choose the stop icon for that. As soon as you make those changes, it will instantly save the data for you. So if I just go back and I go and refresh the page again, the change you should see this time is, let me just go in and show and hide the Millennium Way route. There it is, and you'll notice there the icons have changed to the nice little start icon, checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, checkpoint 3, exactly as we've described them. So that introduces everything that you can do within your portal. If you ever want to go back to your events manager, you can go on here and everything that you create will permanently appear on this list. So you can, every time you add a new event, a new expedition, it will appear on there. You'll still get the ability to go in and press edit and go and import your routes. You can go and change the name, change the color, and of course change the names and manage the icons as well. So you've got full control over all of those things. Hopefully that has given you a good overview of the things that you can do with your administration portal. The best thing to do is get on and play with it and learn to use it really. If you've got any questions, please come back to us and we will be more than happy to help you. Thank you for using expedition tracking with Race Drone, and we look forward to helping you throughout 2020 and beyond.